John?
Is he on his way?
He's not left yet. The Home Office are dragging their feet.
What's happened, John?
Still waiting for permission.
Look, if we can save that hostage...
There's been no movement in there for over an hour. This has got to be our best chance. I'm going in.
No, Sarah, wait.
Look, sir.
Sarah!
There's something odd going on here. They say they appreciate that this is the best time to go in after the hostage, right?
Sarah!
We're still under strict orders just to sit and wait.
John, Sarah's just gone into the warehouse. I'm going to get her out.
But you can't do that. He'll be armed, for God's sake. Adam! Adam!
It's okay, it's okay.
Commander, you were told to wait.
Understood your message, Commander. 0427.
Governor. Governor!
Yes, John?
We've been all over the building. No sign of anyone. Anything. Whoever it was good.
It is a time to thank God for Sarah, for the gift from God that she has been to all of us. At this moment, God enfolds us in his arms as now he holds Sarah in his great love. Let's now pause for a moment and silently make our thanksgiving to God, always remembering moments when Sarah touched us.
Sorry about this, Adam. How was it? Is the family all right?
It's 3 months since she died, and what does she end up with? A belated funeral service and a medal.
It's over, Adam.
Not for me.
A problem, Adam. We need your help.
I'm on leave.
I'm sorry, this is important.
In what way?
It's sensitive, Adam. We need full discretion. And Martin and the rest of your team are already on their way. You are a commander, Adam. I'm afraid your personal feelings are irrelevant.
Commander. Thank you. We've 20 knots of tailwind, so I'll go around once more and make my approach from the east. Hello, Patrol. Scott, Tango Oscar Bravo Sierra. Learning Steam Clinic now. Estimated departure immediately.
Yes. He's just arriving. Of course.
Started initial screening.
Just taking statements, but to be frank, we're a bit short-handed.
We've been instructed to keep it all low-key.
On a murder inquiry?
Yes. Get that out of sight, John. No advertising.
Mission right this second. I have been waiting.
If you ask outside, excuse me.
How many patients?
Steam Clinic, Jennifer Priddy speaking. How may I help you?
Who's in charge?
Professor Etheridge, the medical director. He's in his office now.
I'll see him later.
This way, sir. Oh, and by the way, Sir Horrocks is bringing you down some clothes from the yard.
Horrocks? Oh, yes, of course. Sarah's replacement.
The pathologist's on his way up from London, sir.
Good.
They must think it really important to roll Kynaston out, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her name's Diane Boland, 43 years old, administrator. Been at the clinic about 5 years.
Family?
Single. Very single. She's a cousin, works here, her sister Ambrose. But that's it.
Who found her?
The receptionist, Jennifer Priddy. She was also the last person to see her alive, around 2:30.
She was at the desk when we came in, wasn't she?
Yes. What exactly is the thing on her stomach there?
Well, it's some sort of fetish.
What?
An object to which sexual feelings are attached.
Sounds like my wife.
Time and place, Sergeant.
Sorry, sir, bad call.
John, let's make a detailed list of all the files on the floor, shall we?
Sir.
Anything on the weapon?
Chisel. That was taken from the porter's workshop. Here. It's not been processed yet. Probably from that rack.
What's security like?
Pretty tight. The Steam carries a lot of prescription drugs. They had a break-in a few months ago, so they had a new security system fitted.
Is this the back door?
Yes, leads on to the old stable yard.
Shut.
Was when we arrived bolted. It's been dusted. Can I ask a question, Adam? Why us? This is not our bag. It's a matter for the local boys, surely. When the news broke at the yard, the top brass were running around like headless chickens.
So I gather.
Why, sir?
I'll explain later. For the moment, just treat this place as normal. What was Miss Priddy doing down in the basement?
A call came through for Miss Boland. Priddy tried transferring it, but got no reply. Came to see where she was.
Do we know who called?
Professor Etheridge called to say he'd be late.
For what?
He had a meeting booked with Miss Boland. He's waiting to see you now, sir.
I expect he is.
As you can appreciate, Commander, my concern is for the patients, first and last. Some are at very delicate stages in their treatment and all this. Well, I don't want them upset.
I understand. I also have a job to do.
Tea, Commander.
Yes, please, initially. Now, the Steen's a centre which specialises in what? The treatment of patients with alcohol, drug problems?
We find the term chemical dependency less pejorative, Commander. The Steen's rather more than just a drying out clinic. We also deal with eating disorder, neurosis, depression, psychosexual problems.
I see.
Now, it is possible, Commander, that you and your people may recognize certain of our patients. There is a need for discretion.
Of course, that's why my team are here. Tell me, how is the clinic funded? Centrally?
Oh, no. The patients are private. We charge between £8,000–10,000 a month.
So you have no patients with a history of violence?
Well, most violent crime is either alcohol or drug-related.
We found a wooden carving on Miss Bolam's body.
Yes, it belongs to one of the patients, Philip Tippett.
He's 28, intelligent, well, very intelligent actually. He's been with us 7 months. Here's a dual diagnosis.
A what?
We're not certain if his illness is brought about by drug abuse or is in fact an underlying long-term disorder which predates the abuse. It's what you might call a chicken and egg case.
This carving, Dr. Bagley?
The carving's called Frank. Philip Tippett made him in art therapy.
Psychotic?
He's in the middle of treatment.
Violent?
He has a history. That's how he comes to be with us. He, stabbed his mother. It wasn't life-threatening, but he did stab her. Philip, this is Commander Dalgleish. He'd like to talk to you, if that's all right.
About Estelle?
No. This is Estelle Shannon, Commander, another of our clients here.
Hello. Miss Shalom, perhaps we can talk later.
Philippe,
It's okay. Bleak streets where fledgling, long-foam fraudsters play a game of kick the can. Summer and scrap metal and saloon bars. Factory hooters, distant railway, twin-spin dryer.
Steaming
getting
kettle,
rusted.
Yes.
Wandsworth Plain. I've got all your stuff, you know. Well, not here, but at home. Emma sometimes, Fen Country and others. He's a poet.
I didn't know.
Once.
It changed after you lost your wife and kid, though.
Mr. Tippett, basically what
No,
we'd
it's all
like
right,
to know
John.
is...
Yes, it did change.
Has something happened, Adam?
Yes.
Was it Frank? Did he do something?
I don't know. Why do you say that?
He said he was coming. He called me yesterday. He said he was going to get me out.
When?
He didn't say. He said I'd know. He said he'd send a sign. Is she dead?
Is who dead?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. Bolam. Miss Bolam. I've told him it's Bolam. He won't have it.
Philip, are you all right?
Philip. No, it's Frank. Frankie. It wasn't me, you know. He's a basket case. Mother's boy. What can I tell you? Tied to her apron strings.
Do you know something of what happened this afternoon?
Oh, I know everything, me, but I see nothing. Wise monkey. That's what I am. She was down in the basement, wasn't she? Knickers on show for all the world to see. Shocking.
Are you saying Philip hurt Miss Bolam in some way?
Is she dead? I've asked him to tell me.
Philip?
Yes?
Can you remember where you were between 2:30 and 3 o'clock?
Well, I was with Dr. Bagley, wasn't I? And then I went back to my room.
Were you alone?
Yes. Except for Frank.
Frank was with you?
Yes. At least I think he came by. Well, that's the thing with Frank. Once you get talking, I mean, I can never remember what it is we've discussed, but he's good company. I wish you could meet him.
I've never heard Frank speak before today.
Would Philip remember what happened when Frank was in control?
It's possible.
How did he get on with Miss Boland?
Well, he wouldn't have had much to do with her. I should have met him when he first arrived, but after that, no.
So she couldn't have offended him in any way?
Of course she could. He has severe paranoid tendencies. Look, not smiling. Who knows? Excuse me. Sorry, I'm needed in my office. Do you think Philip did it?
I don't know.
If you decide anything, I'd appreciate being told. Here's my patient.
Yes, of course.
Tippett's bargaining, sir. She was holding his thing, his fetish. He knows how he left her. I mean, liquors and things.
He used the past tense, though. Was. She was down in the basement, wasn't she? More as if he was describing something he'd found.
Well, because he was there.
Yes. But was she already dead?
Should I wait?
No, please come in.
Miss Burnham was obsessionally tidy. Place for everything, everything in its place. She was very upset a couple of months ago. We had a break-in. £200 was stolen from her desk. An anonymous donor. She dealt with all that sort of thing. Just personnel files.
Just personnel, is that all?
Well, no. Also the patient's records. But they're locked up downstairs in the records office.
Miss Boland must have been aware of the nature of this place.
Commander, I'm sure you've been thoroughly briefed, but you must not imagine the Steen to be more mysterious than it really is.
I see. Doesn't mean anything to you.
Should I?
No, of course it's been processed.
Speak Nagel, re Sharon's window, Sister Ambrose leave, Penny Mere. Well, that's straightforward enough.
Nagel?
He's the porter, does the odd bit of maintenance. Sister Ambrose leave. Well, I presume that's why Diane pulled the personnel files, checking on annual leave entitlement. Penny Mere, I don't know. Probably a patient.
Can you check?
I think so. Patients' names and addresses, they should be on the computer. Excuse me.
What was Miss Boland like?
Well, she was competent, methodical, a conscientious administrator. No record of the Penny Mere, nothing at all.
I see. Was she liked?
No, she wasn't. She was hard to get to know, standoffish, prissy, a bit of a busybody. She had a very strong sense of right and wrong.
You were coming here to see her today. Why was that?
She thought there was something amiss at the clinic. Diane was prone to exaggeration, Commander.
You took it seriously enough to drive up here, though?
When I asked if it could wait, she said it was a matter of some urgency. But it's more than likely somebody was fiddling their tea money.
Single entry wound. Entry site 1 inch below zipfisternum. Path appears directed towards left axilla. Wound made by what appears to be a wood chisel. Minimal bleeding in that confined trauma area. I've seen you for some time, Adam. How have you been keeping?
So.
Good. Good. What's happened, you see, is poor old lad's been clonked on the head first, you see. TKO. Ah, sausage time.
Was it with the fetish?
Oh, is that what it is? Well, I'll have to clean her up a bit first, examine the wound. So I can give you a definite yea or nay, but that's certainly how it looks. See, she's laid out. 40 winks and all that, and Matey's done the business with the chisel.
There doesn't seem to be any sign of sexual assault.
Well, totally for sure once it on the PM, but no obvious signs.
Anything else I should know?
Well, it wasn't a frenzied attack. Whoever struck her with the chisel knew what he was doing.
He?
Ah, apologies. Wouldn't have taken much strength. Just position the blade in the right place and push. Died almost instantly.
But why the carving?
I don't know. I'm the cutter, not the copper.
Don't take very long.
Instant room, Nielsen.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like dirty fingers.
Nearly done,
Calm
sir.
down, for heaven's sake. Is this absolutely necessary?
Yes, afraid so, miss.
Doctor.
I'm sorry?
Dr. Saxon.
Well, perhaps you'd like to be our next customer then, please, Doctor.
Dr. Magby, what is Miss Shallon's relationship to Tippett?
They're fellow patients.
Oh, really?
It happens. We don't necessarily discourage it.
And why is she here?
Eating disorders. She's a depressive.
Has she been here long?
I really think you ought to address these questions to the director.
Doctor? Have you made your statement yet? We do need to know where everyone was between 2 and 3.
Including the staff?
Oh, yes.
Where were you between 2 and 3 this afternoon?
Up until about 2:20, I was alone in my office writing medical reports.
Yes, please sit down.
After that, I went to the West Block to see a patient, Philip Tippett.
So Mr. Tippett will be able to vouch for you?
No, he wasn't in his room. I looked for him in the dining room, and when he wasn't there, I returned to my office.
Commander Dalglish. Hi, I'm Peter Nagel, Senior Porter.
Mr. Casey, please.
How do you do?
Can I get you some tea or coffee?
Oh, yes, tea would be fine.
Total waste of time. I mean, to check up on my movements and such my movements.
Oh, Governor, I booked the team in the roadblock a couple of miles up the road.
Oh, Kim, good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry I didn't have a chance to speak to you.
No.
How are things going?
Well, there's a lot standing alibi for each other, sir. In groups,
Right.
some in therapy.
Well, let's have a short list as soon as possible.
First thing in the morning, sir.
If we work all night.
I'm going to remove my custom for a clinic that's worthy of the name. Not that influence in higher circles.
Listen, I'm sorry. About lunch tomorrow, I won't be able to make it. Something's cropped up.
Dear God, if this continues, we won't have a single patient left. Once the police clear them, they leave. 7 have gone already.
Perhaps it'd be best to close the clinic until all this is blown over.
How can we? What of the patients, Robert? The patients.
Yes, I fail to see what that would achieve. Thank you.
They're leaving anyway. Doctor? No, thank you. This afternoon's therapy session was a complete washout.
Look, having the place full of police may be a recipe for relapse and paranoia, but you can't seriously think that suspending all our work would really help.
So how long is all this going to take?
I don't know. I fail to see the source of amusement.
Do you? I don't know what we're doing here. I mean, we slave away for months trying to make some sort of headway with these people and nothing. The police arrive and suddenly half of them are taking up their beds and walking. Perhaps we ought to ask Dalglish to join the clinic. Our success rate would double overnight.
You've been drinking, Robert. Do what you like at home, but I won't have alcohol on the premises.
Oh dear, it really is too bad of Miss Bolam.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, all of you!
Look, I'm sorry, sister. I'm sure Dr. Saxon was only just trying to lighten the, Well, of course, we're devastated by her death, but we must all try to pull together for the sake of the patients.
You.
Bloody hypocrites.
I'm sorry, I hope you don't mind.
Not at all, not at all. Sit down. It's all right, John. You are?
Dr. Saxon.
Yes.
I'm sure Professor Etheridge has spoken to you, but I thought I'd pop in and add my plea. Most of our work is based on the group structure, and the news of Miss Bolam's death spread in minutes. I was just hoping you could find a way to minimize the disruption.
Dr. Saxon, I have been briefed on the function of this clinic. Please sit down.
I see.
What is your role in it?
I'm a psychiatrist, nothing else.
You run the art therapy class, don't you?
Yes.
This carving of Philip Tippett's, is it in any way unusual?
Such an overt sexual statement is rare.
Everyone would know where it was kept.
Oh, yes. Philip was very proud of it.
Dr. Saxon, this afternoon when Miss Shallum was so upset,
Yes.
well, there was a man, a patient, in his late 40s, helping to calm her. Who was he?
Why? His name's Neil Casey.
You're treating him for what?
I'm afraid I can't divulge information of that nature. Patient confidentiality, you understand.
The sooner we make an arrest, the sooner we leave.
Mr. Casey is being treated for clinical depression and alcoholism.
Thank you. Was your patient? What's his background?
Business. Import-export.
How long has he been here?
A few months.
Douglas? Yes, sir, just a moment. Would you excuse me? Sam? Well, we are trying to complete as soon as we can. Yes, sir, we do have a suspect. Well, I'd rather not say in an open line. That's right. Tippett. How did you know his name, sir? Of course. As soon as I have anything to report. Good night, sir.
Let not thy divining heart forethink me any ill. Destiny may take thy part, and may thy fears fulfill. But think that we are but turned aside to sleep. They who one another keep alive, now parted be.
Good morning, let's go.
Morning, sir. Right, I've checked with John, and here's the file you wanted, and I've got the keys to Miss Bolam's house now forensics are finished. Short list of those on premises and without alibi for some or all of the time we're concerned, sir.
Sister Ambrose, Dr. Bagley, Neil Casey, Estelle Chalon, Robin Cheeseman, Jennifer Priddy, Dr. Saxon, Philip Tippett.
All the rest have been cleared.
Well done. Where's Etheridge's name?
He wasn't here.
Nor was Peter Nagle, but he's still a possibility. I'd like them both on the list.
Do you really think it's possible? A member of staff? I thought this lad Tippett was...
Yes, but we need hard evidence. I mean, there was a break-in a couple of months back. We could be looking at a total stranger.
Why do you think she was murdered?
The why's neither here nor there. We find the how, we'll have the who.
That's Miss Bolam's house, number 18, sir.
How does everyone feel about that? Hmm? About Miss Bolam?
I'm not sorry. She was horrible to us.
She doesn't mean that.
She said it. Why'd she say it if she didn't mean it?
Who asked you?
Don't talk to me like that.
Dr. Bagley, tell him. He can't talk to me like that.
Well, leave her alone then.
Leave her alone? You're the one who wants to leave her alone. I know what's going on. He wasn't in his room last night, Dr. Bagley. He was in Estelle's room.
Shut up, Cheeseman.
Mr. Cheeseman, Mr.
Cheeseman!
Mr. Cheeseman. They were working out what to say. I saw. The policeman was talking to him, wasn't he? Miss Boland knew all about what you were doing after lights out.
Liar!
That's why she took Frank off you yesterday. I saw you, you dirty... She was going to tell, wasn't she? What you're doing to Estelle. Bolam knew she was going to tell. You touching her in her pants.
Liar!
You're giving me a headache, Mr. Cheeseman. Please be quiet.
I was only saying, Neil. No, I won't be quiet. I won't. He's a dirty Oh, Neil! Oh, my nose! Oh.
I said please. It was only a tap. I just want peace and quiet.
Live each day as if it were your last.
There haven't been many tears shed for her yet. I wonder if the swallows and the kingfishers will weep for her.
There's an old letter. Looks to be from Priddy's family. Dear Miss Bolam, just a few lines to thank you for all you've done for Jenny. She's such a shy, nervous girl. Dad and I think it was really nice of you to offer Jenny a post in your clinic. It was really good of you. Thanking you again for all you've done. Yours sincerely, Edna Priddy, Mrs.
This is Lampton, Craig and Hardwick solicitors. Please phone Mr. Lampton on 0281 543 033. I'll leave a message at the clinic just in case you don't get this.
Hello. Could I speak to Mr. Lampton, please? Yes, this is Commander Dalgleish, Metropolitan Police. Thank you. It's her solicitor. Hello, Mr. Lampton. Yes, tell me, do you act for Miss Diane Bolam? Right, we're investigating her death. Yesterday. I'm afraid the circumstances are very suspicious.
Okay, that's a lot. Cause of death, single stab to the heart. Instant. No defensive wounds, no signs of struggle. As I thought yesterday, the blow to the head would have put her straight out.
With the fetish?
I don't know. My instinct is not. You see, the wound is straight-edged. And Frank, is it Frank you call him?
Yes.
Yes. You see, Frank's problem is he's a bit of an old smoothie. All curves, no sharp edges.
That it?
Yep. Oh, one more thing. Somewhere along the line she's had a child.
I wouldn't have got this job if it hadn't been for Diane. She can be very kind. Could. Was. I knew her before, you see.
How was it you came to find her in the basement?
She was expecting a visit from Professor Etheridge. He called, saying he'd be late. I thought she'd be annoyed if I... Like, he'd called and I hadn't let her know, so... And... I can't believe it. Sorry.
It's all right, take your time.
I've had a couple of Valium to calm my nerves. I know I shouldn't have. You won't tell anyone, will you?
No, no, we won't say. Did you like her?
She'd been very good to me.
That's not what I was asking.
She wasn't an easy person to like. I tried to be loyal to her.
Well, it was there yesterday morning. I remember because I got a screwdriver out to fix a window and I noticed the chisel was there then.
These your tools?
Clinics. Most of the staff would know they're here.
What about the patients?
No, the basement's off limits.
Bows and arrows in this place?
They're very therapeutic, apparently. Didn't you know? Don't worry, I'll keep my eye on them. Do you fancy a beer?
No, thanks.
Not on duty, eh?
No. Should you have that here?
No.
How long have you been at the clinic?
Coming up 3 years now. The money's not all that much, but the clinic owns a foreshore for miles around, and Rosie Brown is the love of my life.
Sorry?
Rosie is my old boat I'm doing up. She sits in the mud and doubles as a studio. I paint, you see, pictures. I'm an artist. Struggling, not tortured.
Are these yours?
Yeah. A snip at 85 quid. Something for the patients to remember their time at the clinic by.
Do they want to?
No, but it's something to show for their 10 grand a month, isn't it?
Is that how much it is?
Yeah, I know. More money than sense, most of them.
Does it work?
For some. Others are back here year in, year out.
How'd you get on with Dan Boland?
We had our moments.
But there was no particular ill feeling between you?
Between her and me? No.
Between her and someone else, then?
You didn't get this from me, all right? She had a run-in with Dr. Bagley. If you want to know the details, you'll have to get them off him.
You told Diaz Horrocks you were on the post run yesterday, between 2 and 3?
Yeah, that's right.
What does it entail?
Letters, parcels. I deal with all the incoming and outgoing. I was on the afternoon run. I left about 10 to 2, got back just as it was all going off.
That's to a post office, is it?
Post box. Look, for crying out loud, I'm not going to be stupid enough to use my own bloody chisel to do her, am I?
I saw them. They think I'm stupid, but I'm not. No! I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh, you're as bad as the rest. You and... You see, I know. I saw them all down there. In the basement, all of them. They were down there with...
You all right, Mr. Cheeseman?
I know about you and Saxon.
Why don't we go up to your room?
Oh, what a marvellous idea.
You wouldn't think he used to be in the Treasury, would you?
Mrs. Jackson, please.
Right. Well, that's covered the details for me, thank you. Now, you and Diane Boland were cousins.
Yes.
Has she any other relatives living?
No, just me and Mum.
We shall be interviewing Miss Boland's solicitor, but it would be helpful if you could tell me as much as you know about her affairs.
Well, Uncle Sid left at the flat, and about £250,000. Oh, I mean, she was always very good to us.
In what way?
A couple of hundred at Christmas. And she always paid for Mum's summer holiday. Mum's got MS, so we can't go to ordinary hotels.
Who does her estate come to?
Well, to us. Next of kin. She didn't have many friends. She had her church activities and the guides. That was about it.
Did she have any enemies?
Enemies? It's Tippett. I would have thought that much was bloody obvious. Sick bastard. Putting that bloody evil thing on her. Like a child. Mocking her.
I wasn't aware you had seen the body.
Well, I didn't, but, I mean, Dr. Bagley, he didn't go into too many details, but he did say how she was found.
You were with her yesterday about 2:15?
About 10 past. I popped into the office to discuss leave that was owing.
Were you and Miss Bolam close?
Well, I'd like to say we were, but it wouldn't be the truth. She didn't invite confidences. Neither did she share them.
Come on, we'll go this way. There's a tunnel, leads down to the beach. Mind your head. Alice in Wonderland, eh, Commander? Well, it's true the Home Office have been using some of the services of the clinic, but of course Diane Bolam could have had no knowledge of this. Still, as I told you, she was a considerable busybody and a vindictive, rancorous old cow, but she didn't deserve that. Mind you, nobody in the place could stand her, except Pretty, and she's an emotional retard.
I'm sorry.
Religiously, every day, Philip Tippett rehearses Estelle for her concert.
When is it to be?
I doubt if she'll ever sing in public again.
Try.
She was developing into a remarkable young singer. And there you have it. 1 minute a golden future, the next an abortion, and guilt, and rejection. So, she has a breakdown and is bundled off to me in England to avoid the scandal, do you understand?
Well, will she get better?
Well, for some, I suppose. This experience might have been the fire that forged a great artist, but not Estelle. She's too fragile. Now, we may be able to help a little, but her great hope is Philip Tippett.
You can say what you like. You can accuse me till you're blue in the face, but I didn't do it.
But you still can't account for where you were after you left the garden.
I was with Estelle. It was lunchtime. Everybody does their own thing.
Really? You were seen just before. Why did you want to kill him?
Kill who?
Commander Dalglish.
All right, I wanted to pay him back. They were walking along the beach, so I just threw it. And he deserved it.
You sure about that?
Of course I am!
Well, thank you, Mr. Tippett.
Thanks for your help. I can go.
Yeah. They weren't walking on the beach. They were sitting down. But if he didn't do it, who did?
Hello, Miss Shalom. We do need to talk.
I've got nothing to say.
I thought you may be able to help us.
You want to take Philippe away. You want to split us up.
No.
Don't lie to me. You think he killed her, don't you? You all do. I know he didn't. He couldn't.
Were you with Philip yesterday afternoon?
No. We should have lied to you. We should have said we were together. We were stupid.
Telling the truth's never stupid.
You think everything's black and white, don't you? You can't deal with the truth. None of us can.
So you were alone in your room between 2 and 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon?
Yes.
Where was Philip? Where was he?
Adam? You have to watch your step in this stuff, Adam.
You're right.
I thought there would be more of you. Can you just give me a few minutes here?
Stay as long as you like.
That'd be nice. I'd like that.
It's a good spot.
Yeah. I can think here. I get confused, Adam.
I know.
Time is passing, time has fled. We're waiting in strange terrain. But no sleigh bells. No tinsel parade.
What made you think of that?
Time. You understand? My time. When I'm me. I don't want to lose Estelle.
Why should you?
It's getting harder to come back. Each time it's harder. I can't leave things to Frank to sort out.
What things, Philip?
Reduction. I don't want to lose Estelle. I won't lose her.
Oh, sir. You wanted to see Casey's file?
Right. Well, is this it?
Yes, sir.
All of it?
Yes, sir. He refuses to say where he was yesterday afternoon.
Does he?
Dr. Saxon gave it to me. She took it from a safe in her office. But, sir, there are more files in the safe.
1 page.
Is there a problem?
1 page?
Yes. I believe there are notes in the system that haven't been typed up yet. Of course, the psychiatric notes are confidential and will always remain so.
This is just an admission form.
Everything is in order, I assure you. I can chase up the outstanding paperwork if you really think it's necessary.
I'd be grateful. Do you keep any other files in your safe?
No. No, everything's in the records office.
Thank you. Dr. Saxon. John, fax that through to the yard. I want every line checked. Date of birth, work record, home address, GP. If it says he's 5'10" and it turns out he's 5'9.5", I want to know about it.
You don't think it's kosher?
I think we'll be given the runaround. Where's Casey?
He's tinkering with his car about a half hour ago. In the car.
Good.
Instant room, Nelson.
You ever been scared? It's all right being scared, a bit scared, once in a while. Lets you know you're alive. But, scared, proper scared. That's, there comes a point, you know? Enough's enough.
Are you scared?
I have been. I think, yes. Yes, I think I can say hand on heart that I have been scared. I'm not scared now.
Mr. Casey, where were you yesterday afternoon between 2 and 3 o'clock?
It's a nice car, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Nice engine.
Can you remember where you were?
Oh, yes, yes. I have a good memory. I was here.
Where exactly?
Here, at the clinic.
You told Detective Sergeant Horrocks you couldn't remember.
Yes, that's right. That's what I told Detective Sergeant Horrocks.
Did you know Miss Bolam?
We live in an evil world, don't you think?
I do know.
Oh, I think you do. I think you do. I think you know that world. Work in it. Live in it. We kill what we fear, don't we?
Were you afraid of Miss Bolam?
Oh, you see, the thing is, we're all the same, aren't we? Skin and bone and blood. We shine, all of us. And yet, look at my hands. Can you see? Can you see? How are we made? Life's too precious a gift to squander.
Surely we've got him now.
Oh, we must have, yeah?
The audit's just come through with that run on Casey, sir. All the facts fit. His file, what there is of it, is up to date. Only trouble is the man they're describing there died 3 years ago.
No wonder the Home Office won the whole thing solved yesterday.
Good evening, Sister Ambrose.
Good evening, Mr. Cheeseman.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Good evening, Commander.
Good evening.
Have you got a moment?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, nurse. I told your colleague that if I remembered anything...
Yes?
All that happened yesterday, it went clean out of my head. About 2:20, she had a call come through. I was just leaving, so I didn't take much notice. But she looked up at me and said, "No, I'm not." Meaning, I suppose, that she wasn't alone. And she said, "All right, that's fine, I'll be down."
I'll be down?
Yes,
Was the caller a man?
that's what I assumed.
Did you hear his voice?
No. Not really, no. Well, if I'd been a bit closer. Do you think... I mean, it could have been her killer, couldn't it?
Good night, John.
What do you reckon to Casey, then, sir?
I don't know. He's been provided with a new identity, but what's he doing here?
What if they've got him pegged as?
Depressive? Alcoholic? He's been here for months, supposedly.
Adam. It's good to have you back.
That's kind of you, John.
I was very upset about Sarah. Well, we all were.
Yes.
As a family. Everything all right?
Oh, yes. Casey. Neil Casey. It's his eyes. Something about them.
Are you my friend? Are you my friend? I'll be your friend.
Yes. Yes, I'm your friend.
Good, that's good.
Friends. It's better here, just us. You are my friend. Because Casey said he was my friend, but he hit me there. I'm not his friend. You won't hit me, will you?
No, I won't hit you.
They mustn't see me talking to you, and you mustn't tell them. You won't tell them, will you, promise?
I promise.
They know. If they know, like her. I had to tell you.
Yeah, of course.
I saw him with her, you see. They knew.
So who?
You are my friend.
Yes, of course, so who?
I saw him. Saw him. Saw Tippett. With Miss Bolam. He was naughty. He's so naughty.
Why was he naughty?
He got Frank. Wasn't allowed. Not in the daytime, you see. And she said to him, she said, no, Philip, no, you're very bad. Frank's for art therapy only. And she said she'd stop him seeing Estelle if he didn't give her Frank, so he gave him to her.
Where were you?
I was right at the top of the stairs. And then she went downstairs and Tippett went down after her, and then they came back up later. But she never came back up. Never, not ever, ever.
Who came up? You said they came up. Was there someone else?
Eyes at the window. At night.
But why isn't he buying Tippett? Now, you know him. You've worked with him for ages.
I know, but the governor's a canny son. He's got his reason.
Maybe it's motive. Bolam seems to have been roundly disliked.
I know. But like he says, if it isn't greed, it's sex. And if it isn't sex, it's greed.
Usual, sir?
Yes, please. Oh. How are you? Everything all right?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Good, good.
Do you want to talk to John?
Oh, not at all. No, stay where you are. Tell me, has John explained to you how the clinic works?
Yes, sir. It was terrible what happened.
What?
Sarah Hillier being killed.
Yes, it was.
We were at Hendon together. When we heard the news about the shooting, sir, there was a lot of anger.
What do you mean?
You know, Chinese whispers and all that. Why were MI5 allowed to be there in the first place?
We weren't told till afterwards. It was weeks before the Home Office actually admitted that one of their men was responsible.
If we were armed, then perhaps Sarah wouldn't have been shot.
So you believe in us being armed, do you?
Yes, sir.
All the time?
Most of us do, don't we?
Mr. Nagel? Hello?
Oh, hi.
Morning.
Good morning. Could I have a few words, please?
Saturday's my late morning.
Really? 5 minutes.
10.
5 minutes, Mr. Nagel.
Let not thy divining heart,
Did you phone Miss Bolam earlier, say 20 past 2?
Phone her? No. If I wanted to talk to her, I'd have gone into her office. So somebody called her, did they?
Yes.
Well, I'd already left with the post. Could have been anyone. Look, sir, I'm sorry to say this because I like the bloke, but I think you could do a lot worse than look to tip it. It was his carving.
And your chisel.
Yeah, that's very true.
Mr. Cheeseman thought there was someone else in the basement.
Besides Miss Bolam, yeah, so he said. Listen, Mr. Cheeseman's been at the clinic a long time. Try and go gentle with him. He's a bit up and down, sir.
Of course.
I'll get you that tea.
Thank you. Oh, there's a smock missing from the art therapy room. You don't know anything about it, do you?
A smock? Ah.
But think that we are but tunder's side to sleep. They who one another keep alive, ne'er parted be.
You've got talent.
Thank you. Ah, here she is. Now, I know I should have asked, but they got dozens of the bloody things. I didn't think they'd miss one. But then again, I didn't expect to have Scotland Yard here tracking it down either.
You can't stop me, Frank. You know that.
A little still she strove.
Oh, yes, I prefer this. Tell me, did Miss Bolam know about your relationship?
Good God, no. No, she'd have gone ballistic. Jen was her own little protégée. She was very protective. I think she probably fancied her herself, only she was too repressed to do anything about it.
You really think that?
Come on, Girl Guides, please. Cold dips and fresh air, that's all meant to make a man of you, isn't it? In Miss Bolam's case, I rather think it worked.
It was me! I'm the killer!
Philippe! Oh my God.
I did it! You want me? I've remembered now.
Philippe! Philippe!
Philip, now get back! It wasn't Frank! It was me!
Douglas. Tippett has done what? My God, I'm on my way.
I did it! Philip, please!
Philippe!
I killed Miss Bolam!
This way, sir, through here.
Thank you. It wasn't Frank! It was me! What are you doing, you stupid? I was there! It wasn't you! I killed her! No, it wasn't you! I know what I did!
Philip! Don't.
Philip! Think of Estelle!
Philippe! 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 Philippe!
We'll send someone round to talk to the parents.
No, that's all right. Thank you.
He told us he had something to sort out. Had he ever given an indication as
No.
to...
I'm sorry, no, he never. I liked Philip. I thought I could turn him around.
I don't want to lose Estelle. I don't want to lose her.
First sign of madness, Commander. Shame about the boy. Never struck me as the type for murder.
Is there a type?
In my experience, yes.
Why are you at the steam, Mr. Casey?
Nerves, Commander. I suffer with my nerves. I think you know. You've been in the wars, too.
What makes you think that?
When you've lived with the pain, you recognize it in others.
You killed her, didn't you?
Miss Bolam, don't be daft.
No, I'm talking about Sarah Hillier.
Sorry.
Was it a mistake? Or did you mean it?
I don't know what you're talking about. We're fellow travelers, you and me. I wish you health.
Denise says it'll be here in a moment. Sorry, Mr. Cheeseman, I'm needed urgently elsewhere. Won't be a moment.
This is Mr. Lambton, Miss Bolam's solicitor.
Mr. Lambton, thank you for coming in. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
Excuse me, sir. I'm afraid there's been an accident to Mr. Cheeseman in the ECT room.
Mr. Lambton, wait here. Someone will be with you in a moment.
He's stable, but someone's given him a massive jolt.
How?
Well, he couldn't have done it to himself.
Will he recover?
He's lucky. It could have killed him.
I'll take that, Doctor.
What happened, John?
Somebody gave him a massive shock with this thing. Almost killed him.
I was only out of the room for a couple of minutes. There was a call on my bleeper, but it was a false alarm. We've only recently started to use this treatment again. It's been out of fashion for a long time, but in Mr. Cheeseman's case, I thought it would be effective.
And was it?
Yes. One of the effects of ECT treatment is short-term memory loss.
Better get the boys in here to work, John. Who is it? Someone's scared.
Come in, Adam.
So?
I'm afraid you've stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest, Adam.
Really?
I think perhaps you can let the Casey angle of the investigation ride. It's not important.
I see. And why would that be, sir?
Public interest.
Oh, of course.
Mr. Godbolt is here to help with any questions you might have.
Is he?
Adam, when I assigned you to this, I didn't realize that Casey was here. This is all very difficult.
Yes, it certainly is. What is your part in all this?
Neo Casey is a client.
Excuse me, Dr. Saxon. Professor, would you mind just leaving us for a minute?
I don't think that will be necessary.
It was Casey who shot Sarah Hillier.
No, you're wrong about that. Casey had nothing to do with it. That's just your paranoia. He had been non-operational for more than 18 months.
I didn't believe you.
Well, that's up to you. It doesn't make any difference one way or the other. Look, Douglas, you know we have been using this establishment for some time.
But you weren't sure he didn't kill Diane Bolam?
No, you're right about that. But thank God we have this fellow Tippett.
Put this one to bed, Adam.
And in your report, no mention that Casey was here or interviewed.
This morning, Philip Tippett killed himself by jumping from the roof of this building. Just an hour ago, an attempt was made on the life of another patient.
Well, let's not get hung up on technicalities, shall we? You have a culprit and you have a body, and it's done with. Is that all right?
So, you make the case against Tippett, sir?
Yes, that's what they want. I'm going to see Miss Priddy.
The beneficiaries of Miss Bolam's will be contacted in due course.
And that's as far as you're prepared to go?
That's as far as I'm able to go. You're aware of the legal position.
Is there anything you can tell me that might have some bearing on your client's death?
I can't disclose the details of the present will, but I can tell you that as far as I'm aware, Miss Bolam fully intended to make a fresh will. Her cousin, is it, Ambrose, was to retain a few personal possessions, but the bulk of the estate was to go to a children's charity.
But she hadn't made those changes as yet?
No. But she was due to come into the office on the day that she died.
You were on reception when Miss Bolam was killed.
Yeah, apart from my coffee and tea break.
Can you remember putting a call through to her a short while before? Say 2:20?
Yeah, Mr. Lampton, I think he said his name was.
Mr. Lampton.
Do you want a cup of tea?
No, thank you.
It's all right, it's no trouble.
Is there something you want to tell me? Something you remembered?
I wanted to be sure I was doing the right thing. I spoke to Peter about it, and he thinks I ought to tell you what I thought I heard. It's Sister Ambrose.
Oh, what about it?
I overheard a row between her and Miss Bolam just before she was murdered.
What were they arguing about?
Well, Miss Bolam was saying that she was sorry, but she was doing as much as she could, and it would be wiser if Ambrose accepted the situation and got her mother's name down on a list for a hospital bed.
Well, that's not unreasonable. Her mother couldn't be nursed at home indefinitely, not without a full-time carer.
Well, Ambrose couldn't afford that. Anyway, she started arguing that her mother would only end up in a geriatric ward. And then she said something about the money coming to her if Diane died. And wouldn't it be better to have some now when it would make a difference?
How did she reply to that?
Well, I'm not sure exactly, but the gist of it was that Ambrose shouldn't count on getting any of the money now because she was going to change her will.
Did Miss Bolam know about your relationship with Peter?
No, she wouldn't have approved of that.
Good evening, Mr. Cheeseman. How are you feeling? Can I speak with you, please?
Yes, of course, sir.
How is he?
Well, it's quite remarkable what a recovery he's made. He doesn't remember a thing, though. Doesn't know where he is or what he's doing here.
I see. Sister Ambrose, you knew your cousin was going to change her will. You argued with her. Don't lie to me again.
Yes. All right. We argued about the money. She dropped it on me right out of the blue. I'm already working all the hours God sends. With Di withdrawing her support, I can't see Mum going to a Jerry unit. I can't. I've never begged for anything in my life before, but I'm responsible for my mother. I'm afraid pride, it doesn't come into it.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I thought you'd think I'd killed her. For the money.
By lying, you've only added weight to that thought.
I know, I know. What can I say?
I see.
You. You from the newspapers? You don't know the half of it. They are all at it. Filth. Their behaviour. The whole of the government.
Now, Mr. Cheeseman, you don't mean that. You know that.
No one can stop me now.
I can make a fortune from what I know about you.
He doesn't mean that. Diane had a child herself, you see. A little girl. Wrong side of the sheets, but, well, there was an accident. Drunk driver. Well, I'm sure that's why she had such a soft spot for Jennifer Priddy.
Here you go, sir. Now, don't shout about it, will you? Sausages are like gold dust around here.
Mr. Nagel, perhaps I could have a word?
Yes, sir. I can help you.
I want to ask you about the break-in.
Breaking?
Yeah, a few months ago.
Oh, no. Not guilty, sir. Absolutely in the clear on that one. I was in hospital with appendicitis at the time.
Oh, no. I'm interested in the donation, the money that was taken. It was from an anonymous patient, I understand.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Do you get much of that? You know, cash, presents?
No, once in a blue moon, maybe. If you ask me, I don't think it was a break-in at all.
No?
I think it was one of the patients. We had a klepto staying here at the time.
You killed Philippe! You killed him!
Calm down.
You killed Philippe!
You can't talk to her now. She's heavily sedated.
Is she going to be all right?
Hopefully.
Did Miss Bolam know?
About her and Tippett?
About you and Dr. Bagley?
Oh, yes. She knew.
And disapproved?
He's married.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with what's happened.
No?
I didn't want you to get the wrong idea, that's all. It would be easy for you to believe we had a grudge against Miss Bolam. But we didn't. Fell in love about 3 years ago. I knew his wife was neurotic and giving him a difficult time. We both accepted that she needed him and that a divorce was out of the question.
How did Miss Bolam find out?
We went to the theatre. Our second anniversary. She was sitting a couple of rows behind. We were, I don't know, doing what people in love do, I suppose. We never saw her. Careless.
What did she do?
She told his wife. Bob was very angry with Miss Bolam.
What happened?
The inevitable. Helen started to crack, nervous breakdown. He tried to keep it from me, but I could see what it was doing to him. The guilt, but he couldn't work.
He went back to her?
Yes.
So, now we know that Sister Ambrose had a row with the victim just minutes before she died.
Yeah, but is that a strong enough motive?
Your coffee? Well, how would you feel if you were just about to lose everything?
We know it was Diane Bolam's job to get the records out, get them ready for the psychiatrists and put them back when they were finished with.
Yeah, I think the records are pretty crucial. If he believes she came in and saw her attacker already there, I mean, what was he or she doing there in the first place? And why throw the records about the place like that? I mean, what does that achieve?
Okay, but we can assume someone was taking records out.
Or putting them back?
Sorry, sir?
Or putting them back. Or putting them back.
Can I help, Commander?
I must remind you how highly confidential those papers are.
John, where's the list of the files?
What files are
The files we found in the record room floor.
Yes, sir. Right.
I want you to get in touch with every one of these patients. Find out if any of them have phoned here in the last week.
I'm sorry, but you know those files are confidential. What are you suggesting, Commander?
Blackmail. I'm not interested in their medical records, just whether any of them were contacted here in the last few days.
But, sir...
Please, will you go, John?
Sir?
Oh, and John, I want a financial check run on all our suspects.
Adam, we can't...
This can be difficult. Attempt to do it in depth, be discreet, but give it priority.
Yes, sir.
Estelle? Estelle, I just want to tell you that I don't think Philip had anything to do with Miss Bolam's death.
You killed him.
No, I tried to stop him.
Liar.
Did he tell you what happened down in the basement?
Philippe didn't do it. He only went to get Frank.
Good afternoon. It's Detective Superintendent Martin.
Well, I'm calling with regard to the Steen Clinic.
Is Mr. Chowdhury there?
When was the last time you were in touch with the Steen?
Contacted the clinic
I
at
see,
all
right.
yesterday.
Thank you.
And when was that?
Yeah, my name's Keith.
There's a good few unobtainable.
Yeah, we'll keep trying. They're out there somewhere. They've got to be.
Help me to show them that Philip did nothing wrong. Did he see something while he was down there? What was it, Estelle?
That's enough, Commander, please.
Yes, I know. What did he see?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, you do, Estelle. Tell me, what did you see?
Please. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Right, okay. Yep. Sorry. Thanks very much, pal.
Waste of time. Oh, good afternoon. My name is Detective Sergeant Horrocks from Metropolitan Police. Could I speak to Mr. Arthur Fenton, please? I wonder if you can help. I'm trying to find out if Mr. Fenton's been in contact with the Steen Clinic at all. You have? And we thought it was a patient's name.
I should have realized that Arthur wouldn't be the only victim. I suppose that someone else couldn't stand being blackmailed any longer and took drastic action. Awful. But I can understand it. My husband attended the Steen for about 4 months as an outpatient. About a year ago, he received a curious letter from the appeals secretary at the Steen, reminding him about his treatment. Actually quoted some of the intimate details that Arthur had told the psychiatrist.
This letter, did it ask for money?
£200 in cash to arrive on the 1st of every month. The envelope to be addressed in green ink to the appeals secretary, with a note saying that it was an anonymous donation from a grateful patient.
I see.
My husband works for a Japanese investment bank, Commander. If there was any hint that he'd had problems...
No, I understand. So what brought matters to a head?
Arthur went into hospital for a liver operation. He was afraid that if anything went wrong, the whole story might come out and he wouldn't be able to explain it to me.
So what did you do?
Well, I knew the blackmail couldn't go on. It seemed best to me that I should talk to somebody in authority at the clinic, explain what was happening.
You telephoned?
A man answered, and I asked to speak to somebody in charge. When the woman came on the line, I was shaking like a leaf, but I said, someone at the clinic is blackmailing my husband, and if we receive any more letters, we will go straight to the police.
Did you tell her how the blackmail was going to be organized?
Well, yes.
How did she respond?
She was anxious that I should attend the clinic at the earliest opportunity. But I'm afraid I lost my nerve. I hung up. Do you know who killed her? So, do we have a why?
What? Oh, yes, now for the who. One question's been nagging me. Why murder Miss Bolam at work in the middle of the day?
She was a threat.
She wasn't a threat the day before.
No.
No. So something happened between clocking on and 2:30 in the afternoon. What?
Mrs. Fenton rang Miss Bolam,
Yes.
but no one else knew.
Miss Bolam phoned Etheridge and told him something was wrong. But what if someone overheard both calls?
But why was the envelope addressed to the appeals secretary?
Because there isn't one.
Financial check through, sir.
Kim?
A bit of a surprise.
It's one for you, I think.
21 grand. That's a lot of money.
My God.
It's my savings.
Come on, Jennifer. We know you were blackmailing patients.
No, I wasn't. I was just looking after the money.
Who for? Who for, Jennifer?
Peter. He sells his paintings to the patients.
Why didn't he bank the money?
He couldn't. He owes a lot of money on the boat. Bank would just swallow it up.
So he asked you to look after it, did he?
Yeah.
And you do everything he says?
No. No, I don't.
How long will she take?
Who knows?
I still can't believe it. What did he to gain?
Money, greed. Miss Bolam was unfortunate enough to find him down there, so he killed her.
What will happen to the Steen? The publicity will destroy us.
There won't be any, thanks to your friends.
Why don't you arrest him?
I knew he killed her. But I can't prove it yet.
All right, mate?
You seen Miss Pretty around? No.
Come on, Jennifer. We know it was Peter.
No, it couldn't be.
You've admitted he was blackmailing dozens of patients. They sent money as donations, addressed in green ink to the appeals secretary. He picked up the post every day. He collected his money. Isn't that right? The only time one reached Miss Bolam is when Peter was in hospital for his appendix. Did you steal it back from Miss Bolam's office?
It was only money. They could afford it. I was going to leave this filthy place. Peter has the talent to be well known.
Jennifer, Miss Bolam found out about the blackmail.
Look, he couldn't have killed her. He was on the post run.
Was he? Commander Dalgleish has entered the interview room at 2:43 p.m. and is observing. Jennifer, you know what happened, don't you? Peter told you.
No!
You've already admitted to the blackmail. Peter must have told you the rest. When you were on your tea break, Peter looked after the switchboard on reception. He overheard Mrs. Fenton's call, didn't he? He knew he was in trouble.
Look, I've told her about the blackmail. Why can't you just leave me alone?
Jennifer, you've admitted to a very serious offence. You could go to prison for a long time now. Is that what you want? It's up to you. Now let's talk about Miss Bolam, shall we? I suggest Peter unlock the back door. Then he came up the stairs and made a big show of going off to the post, just as normal. He collected the missing files from his boat and then sneaked in the back door, hoping to replace them.
No.
It might have worked. If Miss Bolam hadn't barged in and found him. That's why he killed her.
No! It was an accident. She hit her head on the filing cabinet. Peter didn't kill her. It was Tippett put the chisel in her. She'd taken his carving away.
No, Tippett followed Miss Bolam down to the basement to get it back. He found her already dead.
No.
Peter stabbed her with the chisel he used to prise open the filing cabinets.
No, Tippett did it. Peter told me he did.
Really? Well, why didn't you tell us this before?
What?
Why didn't you tell us?
I don't know.
What do you think discovering Miss Bolam like that would do to someone like Philip Tippett?
I'm lying.
Peter lied. He even convinced Tippett that Estelle had committed the murder. Tippett was so confused he would have believed anything. When he rushed out of the room, Peter quite calmly picked up the carving, laid it in Miss Bolam's lap, and then slipped out of the back door. He turned up in the front in his van as if he'd just returned from the post.
No! No! No!
Why do you think Tippett jumped from the roof? He thought he could protect Estelle by taking the blame on himself. When I got up there, he really didn't know what to do. It was Peter that made him jump. By calling out, "Think of Estelle." That's what killed him. Think of Estelle.
Peter swore to me it was Tippett.
Miss Priddy, I strongly advise you to ask for a solicitor.
Oh my God. No. No. Peter, I'm sorry, I love you.
Peter Nagel?
What's going on?
Peter Nagel, I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder.
Tina, back off! Or I'll snap my neck. And you!
Bitch! Get the fire act! Is there any other way through here?
Commander! This way!
David.
Nagel, now come on, lad, give yourself up. Look, he's right here at the stable yard. No, he's gone back in the house.
Commander. My territory.
Get Martin! Tell him to hand him off! Take my hand! My hand! Take it! Help me! Help me! For Christ's sake, get me out of here! Help me! Come back!